I'm Renee Noor, model, creative director, founder of Global Women Wealth Warriors, Wellness Hub, and GW3 magazine. I dedicated my life and devoted my career into helping women and girls to achieving their goals. I've been passionate about empowering women and enriching men. This opportunity in working with the Global Women Wealth Warriors have afforded me the pleasure of traveling outside of the country to be a support unit, most importantly, to help impact and change lives. Our ultimate purpose is to help others to become whole from finance, spiritual, mental, as well as physical. We know there are challenges and obstacles to get you to the next level. However, it's time for you to level up, boss up, and welcome to Power to Soar.
Well, we want to say welcome to you, yes, and especially you. I'm Pastor Jeff, and you're here with me with the GW3 Global Club, sponsored and created by none other than Renee Noor. This is the 30 Days of Fashion, Men, Money, Style Matters, Tom Ford Fridays, and I'm glad to come to you where we have a men's barbershop talk where just the men talk and the women are flies on the wall. They're able to listen in as the men just chop it up. And I'm glad to have with me today none other than Sean 10K, who will be joining me, and also Tarika Shackelford. And we're going to be chopping it up right here, barbershop style. We'll go first. There they are, the debonair handsome gentlemen. Let me tell you, ladies, right up front, right off of the bat, Sean is already taken, and you don't want to have to fight his wife. Tarico is single. He'll let you know whether or not he's available or not, but I do know that he is single. So he's a debonair man. So, hey, you might want to pay attention to find out if you have an opportunity to shout out at Mr. Tarico. And I don't think he wants you in his DMs either, but I don't know. I'll let him tell you that as we move on. Sean, what's going on, brother? How you been this week?
It's always good, man. Also, most importantly, is always hanging out with you guys here on Friday. And I'm here to say, if any of the message that we're going to put out there is going to touch you or someone you know, definitely bring them into the environment, bring them into the room, share this audio with them, because my goal on showing up on every platform is to impact and also make a difference in someone else's life. So I'm looking forward to the conversation today, guys. Back to you, Pastor Jeff.
Thank you, Sean. And before I go to Tarico, I want to put out this disclaimer. The opinions shared on this show are not the opinions of the establishment, Queen Renee Noor, or the GW3 Global Women Wealth Warriors Directors, or the GW3 Club. And with that being said, we're going to go to Mr. Tarico. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, Pastor Jeff. So good to be here. Excited about the opportunity. Everything's about impact and exposure, man. So it's good to be here with you guys and these beautiful ladies and what Renee Noor is doing here. But we in the barbershop today.
We're in the barbershop. So just to get it off right off the bat, in the barbershop, the ladies want to know.
I'm so
Are
sorry.
you available?
Unmute your clubhouse, Pastor Jeff. There we go.
Are you available
I
or are
am.
you not available, Mr. Tyreek?
I am not available. I have a beautiful woman on my side. She's amazing. She continues to, we're building an empire together. So I'm available to help anybody who needs help, but I'm not
We
available.
just lost half the audience on stage, man. Come on.
See, that's Pastor Jeff's fault. I should have saved that to the end.
Come on, man. Have the woman just left the audience.
You know, you could have said, I'm not going to answer that right now.
On Facebook, is it?
Oh,
Yes, if you go straight
so
to the
gentlemen,
Apple
hold on.
link, I
I'm-
think they said that he unmuted in the clubhouse, but I don't hear him.
Did you
So
unmute
let's,
Clubhouse,
Sean,
Pastor?
how about if you unmute Sean?
All right, can you hear me on Clubhouse now?
Yes, we can now.
All right, they're able to hear us on Clubhouse now, and everybody can hear us. So good. Hopefully, Clubhouse didn't hear that part, so we still got the Clubhouse ladies in the room. So look at here, gentlemen. It's been said over and over again, and it's an ongoing comment that when a gentleman walks into an event and he is looking dapper, he got his swag on, he's looking good, often a lady will ask or say, your wife did a good job dressing you. So the question for you gentlemen is, do you dress yourself? In other words, do you pick your clothes up? I know you put your clothes on yourself, but do you pick them out or does your lady pick them out for you? Or does it even matter? Sean, we'll go to you first.
You know, it's so funny. So I took the credit of dressing myself, but the real secret to my classy dressing and the way I carry myself, I've been very privy to have a gay good friend back in the days that is very focused on fashion. And he always highlighted the importance of matching your watch, your belt, your shoes. And he was into high fashion, Italian fashion. And after meeting that young man, which we're still good friends today, I love him to death. And one of the reasons I support him so much, he's one of the guys that didn't sneak out of the closet. He kicked the closet door open. So when people are bold and they embody who they are and they represent who they are, they own it, I can rock with them. I don't care who you are, what you do. So he's the one who taught me the importance of Italian shoes, buy an expensive belt, and have a proper watch on your face. You can also, on your wrist, you can also mismatch anything. And once those pieces are in place, you'll make it done correctly. Also, make sure you have some sense of color coordination. So because of that gay friend that I had like for over a decade now, which as I mentioned is still a good friend of mine, he really helped me with putting the pieces together. And it works. Everywhere I go, the compliments are there. Wifey, she focused on doing her, that's fine. But lucky for me, I had my training before I met her, so I received nothing but admiration for her whenever I get dressed. But I have to give the credit back to my and I don't mean to sound disrespectful or anyway, but he said, look, Sean, I'm gay. So that's my gay dress mentor. Let me put it that way. Back to you.
He said his
Hey,
gay
I'm
dress
guys.
mentor. All right,
Yeah,
Sean,
yeah.
we got it. Rico, same question for you, brother.
Well,
Who's putting your clothes together for you?
Hey, it's the same for me. I was in Sophistication Unlimited, which was a modeling troupe in college. And I have friends, just like Sean talked about. I have two friends that dress celebrities. And so for me, I keep them very close to me. They had already said to me, listen, we know you're going into business and entrepreneurship, so we got to keep you right. And so just from being in Sophistication Unlimited, the modeling troupe, and really hanging out with those guys, I knew it was important for me to learn how to dress myself. Now, just like Sean said, I have to say, when you're with somebody, they're going to have a flavor that works for them and that they love. And so I bend my dress code to support whatever it is she loves. So if she likes seeing me with my arms out, I'm wearing my arms out. If she likes seeing me with my chest out, I'm wearing my chest out. Unbutton that shirt a little bit, whatever she likes, that's what I'm wearing.
That part.
That part right there. That's a good point, gentlemen. You know, if when we learn that, first of all, Pastor Jeff said, we can't see ourselves. And when
Yeah.
we look in the mirror, we're seeing a reflection. And so it's very important not to be so selfish that this is what I like, this is what I want to wear, that we make sure that the person that we're with is happy. What fragrance is it that she likes? What's the cologne that, makes her, so wear that cologne. Just because the most popular may be something else, if it's not popular with her, is it really worth it being popular? Now, I'm so honored to be between two gentlemen who have had professional consultation when it comes to dressing. Now, growing up, we grew up poor. That's right. I said we were poor. We didn't get the O-R or the P-O-O-R, Sean. And so I wanted to dress. So I started buying my own clothes at the age of 13. And so I joined a club in high school, which was called GQ, Gentlemen Quarters. And most of those guys, their parents had money to buy them the latest fashions, but Pastor Jeff didn't have that. So I'm gonna give another tip. I would go out and I realized that I could wear a same pair of pants for 2 times, 3 times, and just change the shirts, change the tie, and it would look like you had a lot of outfits. So I got about 3 pair of pants so I could change the pants. Tarico, I went to the shop. I bought 10 shirts. And one of the things Pastor Jeff has always had in business mind. Sean, you would have been proud of me. I went in and I told the gentleman, look here, how much are these shirts? He told me. I said, all right, I'm going to buy 10 of them. You're going to give me one for free.
That's right.
Tarico, you know what he
right.
did? I bought 10 and he gave me one for free. So Pastor Jeff ended up with 11 shirts. That's right. I wasn't buying them one at a time. We're going to buy them. And that way I was able to have dressed as though I had an extensive wardrobe. But God has been good to me now. I'm going to tell you, I can wear anything from a $5,000 suit to a $5 suit that I got at the Goodwill, Sean. That's right. I'll go to the Goodwill and pick one up because I know what I'm looking for. And so how about that, gentlemen? When it comes to fashion, do you have to shop at the high-end stores, or can you shop wherever you want because you know exactly what it is that you're looking for?
All right, so
we'll go to hold on, Sean. We're gonna go to Tyreek first, and then we'll come to you. Tyreek, how about it?
Yeah, listen, man. I believe you ought to be able to go anywhere and shop. One of the things I've been fortunate to do is I remember in college, me and my friends, we made going to Walmart to wear shoes, buy sneakers popular. We started a brand on our college campus of wearing Velcro strap sneakers from Walmart. Why? Because we knew how to dress it up and put it together with something that made people want to wear it. Before we knew it, everybody was buying those shoes from Walmart because we were wearing them. And I was in a fraternity. My fraternity, we knew that we had the ability to set trends based on how we wore things. And it's more about fashion is about your confidence and how you present things to the world. So you have to find that confidence within yourself, no matter what it is you're wearing. And when you step out in the world with that confidence in your fashion, then the fashion is received by the world.
All right, Sean. That's good, Tyreek. I like the fact of being a trendsetter.
That's right.
So the good news now is I'm a sucker for the good stuff in life, Pastor Jeff. You know that by now.
Absolutely.
So as I mentioned to you guys, when I was 13 years old, my dad gave me $250 to go shopping. I came back home with a Hugo Boss jeans and a Hugo Boss shirt. And he cursed the crap out of me because that's all I got for my $250. My other cousin had bags of clothing for whatever money they spent. And when he cursed me like that, guys, I made a decision I was never going to ask for money ever again. So I started working at the age of 13, and I always took my money and I bought high fashion. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to something. Some may say when you invest in high fashion, you're wasting money. That's not how I see it. I see when you invest in high fashion, you're attracting a different caliber of customer to do business with you. So for me, I always invest my money in high fashion, guys. I'm the guy that buys the Louis Vuitton dress shoes, the Louis Vuitton belts, the Tom Ford suits, the Sherman suits, the Boss suits. And the reason for it, when someone gets close to me and they flip the tag, I wanted to be equally impressed as when they actually saw me. So I don't want someone to walk me like, God damn, he look like a Q. And then when you come closer and do like this, it's like JCPenney or whatever else is out there. No, you step up to a boss, you're gonna meet the boss. Okay, and subconsciously, Pastor Jeff, this has been in my DNA since I was a child. It's only when I was on the speaking engagement and I was sharing the story of when I was 13 years old, I recognized I was wearing a boss suit. And then is when it came full circle. You already knew who you were even when you were a child. And if you stuck to your natural instinctive reaction, you're going to grow into one of the most fabulous human beings you'll get a chance to meet. So I will go to high fashion, guys. I'll make the investment because the high fashion puts you in different rooms. It puts you in different conversations. And your spending makes sense to others who are spending. And I always find a better ticket to come from those kind of conversations. Back to you, Pastor Jeff.
So, Sean, we've got that part. Your high fashion, you go boss, all the Tom Ford. But you didn't answer the question, Sean.
What's the question?
Can you go to the Goodwill, to the Salvation Army, see a Tom Ford, see a You Go Boss, see a top designer, recognize it, pay the $15 for the suit, and then you wear it as though you bought it out of Saks Fifth Avenue? That's the question, Tom.
100%.
All right.
I'm for a good deal. The price you pay is not the concern, is what you're getting. I'll say this again. The price you pay, I'm not married to the price I pay. I'm married to the quality I'm getting. Make no mistake about that. Pastor Jeff, I'm a sucker for Saks on Fifth Avenue. I'm a sucker for Marshalls if I have time. But if I have no time, I go to the damn store, pick up what I need, and then get out of there. But if I have some time to browse, I can go to these big box stores and see what's available. But if I can get a deal, man, that makes it even better for me.
Absolutely. To that point, Sean, I was watching an interview years ago with the FBI, and they were telling or sharing how to spot a counterfeit money. And what they said to Rico was that the way that they learn how to spot counterfeit money is to study authentic money. So if you know what the original is like, if you know what's authentic, then you absolutely know what's not. So anything that's not is a counterfeit. And therefore, what my point here is, as when we dress, Sean, and I'm going to come back and ask you another question about fashion designers, although you shared a few. When you know what a good suit looks like, I can walk into a room with you in it, Sean, and look from across the way and tell whether or not you've got on a cheap suit or an expensive suit. You can look at it and almost tell whether it was tailored or if you bought it right off of the rack. And that's because I know what tailored suits are. It's because I know what top designer suits are. I know what to look for in them. So I don't even have to see your tag, Sean. I can look and say, that's an expensive suit. That's a nice suit. Or I can say,
that's an interesting suit.
That's interesting suit, not one that I would want.
That's right. You see, two nice suits just came on. Two nice suits just came on.
I know. I look at it. We got Mr. Jonathan and we got Mr. Marvin from across the pond. Gentlemen, welcome to the Barbershop Talk. We're just talking right now about when we shop in our fashion, since it's Tom Ford Fridays, if we're able to go to the high-end stores and buy our clothes, or can we walk into the Goodwill and Salvation Army and get it? So with that, we're going to go to Mr. Jonathan. Jonathan, you can take the glasses off. We're not asking anything controversial yet. You might have to put them on later on. But Jonathan likes to put those glasses on when you don't want to answer the question. So this is an easy one for you, Jonathan. Can you shop at can you shop at the Goodwill and Salvation Army, or do you have to shop at the high-end stores when it comes to your fashion?
For me, I can shop anywhere. I mean, it depends on where I can get what I need to get. I grew up in an area that was very close to some very wealthy areas. So you could, in fact, go to the Goodwill and pick up a suit. In some cases, it wasn't even worn, and get actually the designer brand for pennies on the dollar. So I learned that. Also, I grew up next to a place that was an outlet store that we could get, stuff like Irish linen and things like that, and Irish wool that you couldn't get in the store unless you were paying hundreds of dollars, and they would have it literally at times. You'd have one little thread on the bottom corner that was just stretching out a little bit, and you got 90% off. And so to me, that was a great deal and a great bargain. So yeah, man, I'm always looking for what I can do to maximize my dollar spent and to still look stylish out in the public.
All right, thank you, Jonathan. We'll go over to Marvin. How about you, Marvin?
Hopefully you can hear me.
We can.
Yeah, I've got a bit of an echo. It's been a really interesting conversation, actually.
Yeah, cut your mic off. I mean, not your mic off. Cut your sound down.
Okay, is that better?
That's much better.
Okay, yeah, interesting conversation. I think for me, similar to what a few other people have shared, as much as I enjoy sort of the finer things in life now, I definitely wasn't in a position to spend that kind of money when I was younger. But you know, at the end of the day, that didn't stop me from dressing in the right way. I think that you can always get a workaround, and also it's how you feel. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it's not about the brands as much as it's about the man and how you actually carry what you're wearing. You know, I don't feel that I dress specifically for someone. I kind of dress for myself because I think it's if we go and taking a few steps back to what you were discussing before, I feel like people are attracted to confidence. So if you dress confidently and you feel confident in what you're wearing, then that's as much of an attraction to any of the labels that people might like.
They muted us, Pastor Jeff. They muted us.
Okay, about unmuted now.
The ladies are always interrupting with our flow, Pastor Jeff.
You know, you're absolutely right. And they told us don't touch nothing. So I'm not touching anything. So if I got muted, but look at here, I ain't gonna concentrate on that. Marvin brings up a very good point, and that point is about confidence. So, gentlemen, we know each of you are accomplished. I just want to ask you this question on the real. How much does your confidence shift when you change out of whatever you're, let's just say some casual work clothes or whatever that is, but when you put on that suit that you know fits just right, and you've got your favorite tie on, you've got your favorite cologne on, you've just got your hair done or your head polished if you pass the Jeff, and you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're looking good, how much does that change your confidence? We'll start off with Tarico. We'll go then to Marvin. We'll go to Jonathan, and we'll end it with none other than that voice of Mr. Sean 10K. Go ahead, Tarico.
Well,
how about you?
Let me start. Yeah, let me start by saying this, Pastor Jeff, that I don't shift my confidence with anything that I wear because I'm confident in whatever is on me. Whatever I put on me, I'm a personal trainer and I work out. So when I'm in the gym and I'm training or I'm training my clients, I'm confident then. But I'm also confident when I put on my suit. When I put my Cole Haans on, I'm confident. And when I put my Jordans on, I'm confident. So it doesn't matter what's on me. What matters most is that confidence is attached to me. You know, the presentation is only a reflection to me of who I am. When I show up, my presentation shows up. So my confidence is key, whether I'm wearing a button down, whether I'm wearing a t-shirt, whether I'm wearing pajamas going to bed. I look at myself before I go to bed and make sure I smell good, make sure that I look good before I'm getting into bed. I'm for real. I do me 10 push-ups before I get into bed.
Right.
Look at myself in the mirror and I'm good to go.
Has it always been that way for you, Tarico, or did you have to build up to that point?
You definitely have to build. Confidence can be built. Confidence can be built. It took some commitment from me at valuing me and not looking out how everybody else looked at me accepting me. When I decided to accept me, then I knew that the world had no choice because I was going to be moving either way.
I think that's important that we bring that point out is because we don't all start out with that kind of confidence. I mean,
No.
our surroundings, we may not have that type of support in the home. We might not have those type of friends that are around us. And so I think it's important for us to acknowledge the fact is that, as with Pastor Jeff, I didn't start out with that type of confidence. I had to build that. And now at the season of life that I'm in, I'm confident in my skin. It doesn't matter what my clothes are. But as a teenager, my confidence really was in what I wore and going out and knowing, or at least feeling that I was looking good and that I was drawing attention. With that, we're going to go to Mr. Jonathan. How about you, sir? What about the confidence in the clothes?
All right, sir. Yeah, so I'm going to kind of piece this together here. I couldn't hear for a while because my headsets were on, but I kind of agree with what the brother said earlier from England across the pond, where he said it's all about your confidence. My understanding is the more confidence you have, the better off you are in any situation. You can take a guy that's confident and being dressed down, and he has more panache and more swag than a guy that's, suited and booted, that's petrified about being there.
Very good point. Very good point, Mr. Jonathan. And we're going to go ahead. And Marvin, did you want to add anything else to it before we go to 10K?
No, I think that Jonathan's kind of reiterated the point I was making. Really, I mean, how many times have we seen multimillionaires and billionaires wear extremely expensive things but look like absolute clowns? Do you know what I mean? Like, really look terrible. And I've seen that a lot, and I just think style and confidence within your style is not something that you purchase. It's something that you exude. It's the way, it's your aura, it's the way you carry yourself. That's my belief anyway.
Absolutely. Now we're going to go to the man himself, Mr. John 10K.
It's time for the unfiltered, uncensored response now. I mean, I heard all of you guys. Okay, cool, no problem. So step one, above everything, always keep working on you. Always keep investing in you. Always keep investing in the best version of yourself. That is without a question. So we're not even going to have any other conversation outside of that. Guys, there's different level of confidence. When you know you're constantly working on you and you're good with you, the confidence box is checked off. But your confidence increases when you match the elements that will complement the environments you're looking to influence. I'm going to say this again nice and slow. Your confidence go up another level. First of all, I don't think any guy should be operating below the confidence border. If you're operating below the confidence borderline, go to the gym, work out, eat, feed your mind, get the basics out of control. We're not even going to discuss that. So let's look at that as the confidence borderline. And then let's build on top of that confidence borderline. Before I bought a sports car, I made sense of driving the RAV4 that I was driving. I justified it in my mind. But when I sat in the Maserati, what was my thought process? How can I make an extra $1 million this year? In the RAV4, how can I pay the bills? How can I buy an extra whatever it is? But in the Maserati, how can I make an extra $1 million? And I'm here to tell you guys, those nice philosophical answers are cute, but when you start putting yourself in a different environment, your thinking becomes different. Your behavior becomes different. Same person, but you just went into a different environment. And this is just me sharing from my personal experience, guys. Before having the stuff, I would theoretically say all the good stuff, no problem. But after having an experience, the perspective was strange, guys. And if you've never been on a yacht, you probably wouldn't have a desire to be on a yacht. If you've never been in a designer clothes at a goddamn ball, you probably wouldn't have a desire for it. But when you touch it and you taste it and you see what it has to offer, I'm here to tell everyone, strive as high as you can possibly go. Stop making sense of your current situation. We live in an unlimited universe. And if you limit yourself, you hold on to that limitation. Don't you dare try to put that on to someone else. So all these nice philosophical answers, I want to challenge all of you guys. Go to the dealership, sit in a Ferrari, sit in a Range Rover, sit in a whatever it is. Go take a private jet run. If you have a friend, go sit inside of it. Get out of the coach for a minute. Go try it on. You just might find out you like it. That's my position. And that's like Pastor just saved me to the very end. because he don't want you guys to change your opinion after you hear me speak. Pastor Jeff, back to you.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean. Any response to Sean?
I feel like oh, sorry, go on, Tarico. Go for it. I'll go after you.
No, I think for me, what Sean is saying is it's absolutely true, but that confidence piece for me is still consistent, right? I don't need for me, I've been on a yacht, I've been on a helicopter, I've been on a jet, sat on a jet, but Tarico is Tarico, and I'm confident in those spaces, right? And so one of the things that I learned that as a man, me being balanced and learning how to attack things, I'm a trainer, right? So for certain things, I need certain kinds of energy. He said the elements. So I know how to show up in the element that I need to show up in. And my confidence says that I can show up in this element this way. I can show up in this element this way. But I go in the hood and be in the hood on the block in Chicago on the South Side where my daddy's raised, but also can go in the boardroom and have a conversation. And so what matters though is your confidence aligned for you to be in any environment, any space, so that you be consistent?
Absolutely. And guys, I just want to touch on something, right? My kids.
Hold on, Sean.
No, really quick, Pastor Jeff. I'm beyond time. I'm just letting you guys know.
All right.
The one thing I want to touch on really quick is my kids call me the richest homeless man they ever see. My kids call me the richest homeless man they ever see. Why?
All right.
I don't care where I'm going. I look the same. But what they don't understand, I have 30 looking exactly like this. So I will put up everywhere looking the same. But every day it's a new outfit that we have on. But I don't care for all the variation. That's all it is. Guys, I love
we know you're walking. We know you're a walking advertisement. I said we know you're a walking advertisement. So we know it is. So let's go ahead and go to Marvin. You had a reply.
No, to be honest with you, it probably dovetails with Tarico, what Tarico shared. For me, I remember the times when I didn't really have as much as I've got now. And yeah, I've got nice things now, nice watches. I drive a nice car. But it's I wouldn't say that defines my mindset. And don't get me wrong, I understand where so 10K is coming from, because if that is what motivates you, then fantastic. But I think for me, the bigger conversation piece is find out what motivates you, find out what drives you, find out what is actually going to take you to that next level. Because I probably hustled harder when I was driving around I don't know if you have these cars in the UK. My first car when I was young, it was like a Metro. You probably don't know what that is, but anyone who's from the UK knows what that is. A Metro, like clapped out car. But at the end of the day, as far as I was concerned, that was my Rolls Royce. Do you know what I mean? But my mentality then, when I was in that car, when I didn't have the nice watches and the nice suits and whatever else, was still, I'm going to get it. As far as I'm concerned, I'm a millionaire in the making. I'm gonna get there. Do you know what I mean? So now that I'm in the position I'm in now, I'm thinking I still am going for it, but I'm a bit more strategic. So whereas before I wanted to get to this level, now I'm thinking about, right, okay, how do I actually move the chess pieces around to get to this level? It's still a similar mindset, it's not necessarily influenced by all of the things, because guess what? People can take all of the things away. Do you know what I mean? You can lose everything like that tomorrow, but do you still have the mindset to go and get it again? Do you know what I mean? And that for me is the bigger conversation. Having the self-awareness to understand what drives you, what is actually going to keep pushing you to actually achieve all those things, because then you can get it over and over and over and over. It doesn't matter, what happens, you can always get it back.
Absolutely. I like that, Marvin. And so there's a concept that I've heard for years and years and years, and perhaps you gentlemen have heard that. It's the concept of fake it till you make it. And since we are gentlemen who are constantly evolving and looking to reach a higher level, what is your opinion or what do you have to say about that ideology of faking it until you make it, as we look at always reaching for the next highest level? You know, if you're a 5-figure earner, you want to get to a 6-figure. If you're a 6-figure, you want to get to a 7-figure. If you're a 7-figure, you want to get to an 8-figure. I mean, so we'll go ahead and start with you, Tarico. What about this idea of faking it till you make it as we evolve?
Well, first of all, I don't think anybody should fake anything, right? Be your authentic self. And when I say, because my mindset is different, I believe I dress for where I want to go, right? But that's no fake. It's just who I am. So whenever I want to evolve, I want to become something, I don't have to fake it. I just go there. I go and I wear it and I grow into it. We don't have to pretend to be something that we're not. You can be exactly where you are and still have ambitions to reach beyond that place. And here's the thing: we have to learn how to bloom where we're planted, right? Quit always thinking that you have to arrive at the next place and not show appreciation for where you are now. I tell people when I'm training, the reason your body hasn't changed is because you speak the hate to it, right? When you start telling yourself that you appreciate and you value your body, you'll start to see some changes. Start speaking life to your body. Start dressing for where you're headed, not for where you are.
That's good. That's good. Jonathan, how about you?
All right, so yeah, I don't know about fake it till you make it, but I know from covering sports, one of the things I've always done is try to be well dressed, because I found that it allowed me to move freely about the cabin. People have a tendency to look at how you present yourself, how you look, and they seem to give you a bit more leeway. So there were times I was someplace where I really shouldn't have been, but at the end of the day, they say, "You look like he belonged here," so off we were. So that's how I looked at it. I don't know if I'm necessarily faking it. I've always believed I could, conduct myself like the guys from ESPN and Fox Sports, and thank God, the times when I did get the mic, I was able to do so. So if you want to call it fake it till you make it, I guess maybe that's my version of it. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Jonathan. Marvin, how about this concept of fake it till you make it?
Yeah, it's a weird one for me, really, because again, I'll probably agree with some of the statements. I don't think that anyone should really be trying to fake it. I feel like, what is your definition of faking it, really? Do you know what I mean? Because are you how far are you going with faking it? Because the reality of the situation is, people are now more in tune than they ever have been, and they'll recognize the fact that you're faking it, and then they'll chalk you up as someone who's not authentic, and they'll chalk you up as someone who maybe they don't want in their circle, because you're not, quote in quotes, keeping it real, so to speak. So I think, it depends what your definition of faking it is. Yeah, you want to carry yourself in a certain way to allow yourself to be in certain circles to elevate your life. Yeah, but I don't think you should ever define it as faking it. I think you should have aspirations for sure, but just try and be as real as you can, I would say, would be my take on that.
Great perspective. All right, come on with it, Sean. 10K sitting there. He can't wait to get in on it. We know it. Go ahead, Mr. Sean. Look, we got one more question. Wait a minute, Sean. We got one more question to go, so we don't want a long answer here. Just give us a good one.
A nice long answer. Just answer that question. So, guys, I want you to consider swapping faking it until you're making it to be until you make it. Be it until you make it. Because when you make a decision to be it, guys, it doesn't cost you anything externally. The being comes from within. The being comes from within. So let's just shift the whole fake it until you make it crap to be it until you make it. Because if you be it until you make it, it will be a natural progression until you attract all the things on the outside that you actually are on the inside. So I'm going to give you a nice short answer. That's what it is, Jeff. Let's move on to the next question really quick. I'm loving this. Back to
all
you.
right, I like that. I like that perspective. Each of you, I like what you've said because it's on the positive side. And as the pastor, my perspective is this: is we call those things that are not as though they were. And while that is a ideology that we hear often, it's the mindset. If our mindset is that we're faking it, then that's what we're going to feel like. We're going to feel like a fake. And what do we say about the FBI? The FBI said, study what's authentic. If you know what's authentic, then you'll be able to tell the counterfeit. You don't want to be, how are you going to be a counterfeit you? So that's a terrible counterfeit. So be your authentic you. Be comfortable with who you are, where you are now, and know that you are ever evolving. And with that, we're going to go to our final question for this segment. Gentlemen, look, when we consider the styles of yesterday, when we consider what a first impression really means, look, I've went to Walmart. I don't go to Walmart often. And it's not because I don't shop at Walmart. It's just, I just don't like going to Walmart. But I go to Walmart and you see gentlemen that maybe even in past, I mean, from all generations, and they've got their underwear showing. Sean, they have a belt on, and I don't understand, how do you have a belt on but it won't hold your pants up? They got their flip-flops on. Some of them come to the store in their pajamas. Gentlemen, I want your real perspective and what advice you would give to all the men, because I can't just say young men, because we see them all ages with that type of style. When it comes to style, what do you say about showing your underwear, coming out in I know Tarico said he does his push-ups before he goes to bed. He's looking dapper before he goes to bed. What are we going to say to these gentlemen? We'll start with you, Marvin. We'll go to Tarico, and then we'll go to Sean, and I won't interrupt in between so we can get our final question in. How about it?
You promise not to interrupt?
I don't promise anything. No, I don't promise anything, Sean.
I'm actually laughing, visualizing what you're describing, Pastor Jeff. But I think this is a brilliant follow-on from the previous question, because the reality of the situation is I always think that, you know, you should be dressing for the job that you want, or dressing for the career that you want, or dressing for the life that you want to live if you're not there at this moment. So, you know, at the end of the day, if you're dressing in that way with your sort of pants hanging down and all the rest of it, the reality of the situation, where is that going to get you? Do you know what I mean? What if I don't know, if you're a rapper or whatever, that might be your thing. I don't know, but you should dress how with a view to I always talk about roadmaps in what I do. You know, you should be dressing with a view to what your vision is. Do you know what I mean? What's your goal? Where do you actually want to land the plane? You know, because now more than ever, people need to recognize that they are a brand within themselves. You are, you know, your personal brand is one of the most powerful things that you have, and you have one, whether you realize it or not. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, if you're dressing in that way, you got a hell of a lot more evolving to do, unless you're going to be living that kind of like rap star lifestyle, or you're already a millionaire and you can afford to look like that. That would be my take on it.
I like that idea. You said you are a brand, ladies and gentlemen, on Clubhouse, on Facebook, and on YouTube. Hear what Marvin said. You yourself are a brand. Yeah, I interrupted, Sean, and that's okay. Go ahead, Tarico.
Listen, my grandfather, James Satterfield, he always told me that, he said, Tarico, whenever you go out, you have on a belt. You make sure your pants and your breeches are pulled up. He said, if those pants are down, he said, then it not only says that you're not connected, but it says that you're detached from something. And he said, I think you need to think deeper about why you wear a belt. And it ain't just to keep your britches up, but it's to make sure everything is in proper place. And so I always went with that mindset that a lot of people don't recognize. It's not just about your pants. You're not sagging your pants. If you're sagging your pants, you're probably sagging your personality. If you're sagging your pants, you're probably sagging your standards for what you're doing and what you're building. So me wearing my pants up is an attachment thing to what Marvin said, where I'm wanting to go with my life, right? That I want to keep things together. I want to make sure my family stays together, right? I want to make sure my kids stay together. So things are about connection. So the real question is when your pants are down, what is disconnected?
I like that, Tarico. You know, as you spoke that, I thought about what Marvin said is that we are a brand. And if that's your brand that has made you rich and you're making millions of dollars off of that brand and you go out, because I remember Don King when he was promoting and he had that outrageous hairstyle that became his brand. He got paid for his hair to look the same way that it looked. And if you're not getting paid to do it and you're copying somebody else's brand, then I agree with you, Tarico. It's saying a whole lot about you and who you are trying to copy someone else. All right, Sean, go ahead. What you got to say, Sean? We know you got something. And we need to get
Are you
Sean
going
off
to
of
team up,
mute.
Nate? Okay, good. So, you know, at a very early age, guys, I made a decision that I was going to become wealthy. At the very early age, I made a decision I was going to access the big money. And for me, it was very simple. I had to be congruent to where the money was. I had to be congruent to where the money was. Also, most importantly, as you guys can tell, I'm a very confident dude. And then you being a very confident
No,
dude,
not really.
you know, I told him he was not going to interrupt, but you know what? Let's go for it. I've been trying to censor my language, but you asked for it. Hey. So, being a very confident dude, guys, having my pants under half of my stuff doesn't work for me. Being a very confident dude it doesn't mean I'm gonna walk into a well-dressed environment, dressed with my pants below my waist, and trying to close a deal. It doesn't make any sense to me. So because of where the quote-unquote success and the money was for me, I had to basically match that environment. And also, you know, we keep complaining about the displacement of wealth and the inequality of wealth distribution and all this kind of crap. I'm going to prove the status quo to be incorrect because I do believe it doesn't matter who you are, where you came from. If you follow the rules of success, you will be successful too. Successful is not reserved for the white, for the Asians, for the Caucasians, for the Jews. No, success is reserved for the individuals who follow the formula of success. And I am so sorry, but I've never came across one successful individual who journeyed his way to success wearing his pants below his below waistline. I didn't see it. Maybe it's out there. I've never been exposed to it. What I have been exposed to is people who did things in a certain way, quote unquote, the correct way, end up with the correct results, the certain results. But what I also found is that the ones who keep complaining about going back to prison and getting into trouble and working a 9 to 5 that I don't like, they kind of all had something in common. And that pants on the ass was one of those things. So if you want to be responsible and you want to claim your success, find out what are the laws and the rules of that success you're going after. Follow those paths, follow those principles, and you will get there. In closing, guys, you will always see me with t-shirts on. Why? It wasn't always this way for me. When I'm working, where I'm looking to attract certain dollars, I'll wear the suit. I'll wear the shirt and tie. But when I got to a place where I was good, and it didn't matter how I show up, physically, I can wear a t-shirt like this and go to a conference with 100,000 people. Doesn't matter for me anymore. Because I got to a particular level where I can leverage this outfit. And also, by me dressing this way, guys, it takes one extra decision away from me on a daily basis.
What are you going to wear?
And it frees me up to make more decisions in other spaces. So every day I get up, I don't have to make a decision as to what I'm going to wear. Grab a shirt, grab a pants, I'm good. Next. That's it for me. Pastor Jeff, back to you. This was a great topic, great conversation. Always like kicking it to you guys. Back to you, Pastor Jeff.
Absolutely. I'm just waiting for that tailor-made 10K cards suit tuxedo with the QR code on the back of it, Sean. 10K going down on the front. Gentlemen, I said I had one last question, but this is it as we close it down. Sean, I'm going to start with you. You told us about You Go Boss. Who or what designer has most influenced your dressing style?
All right. Who or what designer influenced your dressing? All right. So my belts and my shoes, a few of them are Louis Vuitton, and I'll tell you why. When I'm selling, I'm looking for someone who can make sense of someone carrying a Louis Vuitton bag. When I'm selling, I'm looking for someone who can make sense of someone that's investing in a Louis Vuitton belt. Because If my clients are wearing a Louis Vuitton bag, and as a salesman, I'm wearing a Louis Vuitton belt, my client is going to say, he understands me. He can connect with me. And I'm always for making the connection and closing the sale. And besides that, guys, not only does it look good, but I can leverage that. Now, where I am today, I'm looking for ways to help individuals who's trying to come up. There's no need to leverage the big brands anymore. You leverage the big brands on the way up. But when you make it up, you ask yourself this question: what are these brands doing for the community? What can I do to improve the quality of our community? Who can I find that have the right intention for the community? And how can I now use my position to leverage with those individuals to push the agenda forward in making our community a better place? So in the beginning, guys, I would have supported the brands to get to a certain level. But when you get to a certain level, you can make a decision. The question now is, how can I use now my status to pull someone else up and push the culture forward? So that's my response to that, Pastor Jeff. Hope that was useful. Great hanging with you, Tariq. Marvin, back to you, Pastor Jeff.
So what I heard you say then, Sean, is that when you go out, your dressing decisions is connected to what the ROI is and not what is the trending fashion. Is that correct?
100%.
All right. Thank you. We're going to go to Tyrico. What fashion designer has most influenced your dressing style or your brand?
So I do have my own apparel brand, which is called Create Wear, and I have to pay homage to a mentor of mine who I've always followed and really looked to for just influence, Damon John. Not just as a businessman, right? We know that he started FUBU, and FUBU was very popular when I grew up. I still have a FUBU, some collection, still pieces in my wardrobe. And I've watched Damon John and watch him build his fashion sense and grow it and expand it. And so for me, the expansion and me seeing him go from streetwear to wearing suits and things of that sort and making that brand grow. I'm a growth mindset individual. And so I believe that fashion can grow and evolve. And then you have that antique fashion style, right? That is constant and that is timeless. So I also like art. And when I look at art is about timelessness. So I draw inspiration from fashion just from different artists, the Michelangelos and Dali, Salvador Dali. So studying those people and their artworks and being a part of that artistic community, which stimulates my creativity, also influences how I dress and how I carry myself.
Thank you, Tyrico. Marvin, what designers have influenced you the most in your brand or in your dressing style?
It's really funny actually, because listening to both Sean and Tarico's responses, it's probably a blend of the two, because some of the brands that influenced me in my earlier years aren't necessarily the brands that I wear now, but there are a couple that I do wear now. So I remember sort of being really sort of young, and my uncles, I've got quite a big family, and I always used to see my uncles when I was at my grandma's house. They'd wear, the Lacoste and the Ralph Lauren's and the Armani's and all that kind of stuff. And I grew up kind of like with a sort of aspiration to sort of be able to afford those brands. And so, I have some of those brands now. Like I wear occasionally polo, sort of a Lacoste style shirts. I mean, this is an Armani jacket, but it's not necessarily that I'm influenced by those brands. I think that brands almost are like songs. So everyone can remember a song that they can attach a memory to growing up. So for me, individual brands have kind of played different roles throughout my life. I wouldn't say there was any one brand. I'd say that it's kind of like a combination of different brands to like today, where because of some of the clients I work with, I've had the opportunity to meet designers. Like I've met Paul Smith, for example. So it's, you know, I won't be able to pin it on one particular brand. It's really about the story of branding throughout my life, as I'm sure it is for many people. You know, there are certain things that they remember that they sort of can attach a story to, and that contribute to the brands that buy now. There might be brands that they buy now that they just like because of who they've evolved into, you know. Because now definitely it's about how something feels when it's on you, the quality of the garment. You might be looking even more into the brand and the individuals that own that brand, or the designer that controls that brand. You know, what does he represent? What does he stand for? What does she represent? What does she stand for? So it's about the decision-making process as well. I wouldn't be able to pick any one brand. It's definitely a collection of different brands that sort of make up the tapestry of the story of how I grew up, really.
Thank you, Marvel. I like that, and I'm going to interpret that as you saying that it's a recipe that is not necessarily the same every time that you cook it. As you go. And look at here, before I give my answer to the question, I want to say to Marvin Reed, to Tarico Shadowford, thank you so very much for being our special guest on today. To Sean 10K, I look forward to arguing with you again on next week, brother. And
Jeff, let me give you this. In full disclosure, I want everyone to hear what I'm going to say right now. In full disclosure, I was to be off this call 27 minutes ago. Because of my relationship with Renee and the community, I decided to rock out until the very end. When I just spoke about the fashion and supporting someone else, a light bulb went on to my head. And I just went and I bought 10kfashion.com. And I also bought 10kfashions.com. I want to get both. No one is going to get close to me. And I'm making a declaration right now. 10kfashion.com will become the brand that pours back into the community. While I was speaking, I realized I was mentioning to you guys, I'm looking for companies to support that is pouring back into the community. Pouring back into the community is the structure, is the heart of what we do. And because I'm in control of that, 10kfashion.com is going to be a thing to look at. And if you guys think this is cool, just you wait until you see the 10K belts come out, the 10K shoes, the 10K suit. Come on, man. Back to you, Pastor Jeff. Don't bring a businessman in a meeting like this. You'll find a way to make money.
Now, that's what I like about you, Sean. And I hope the ladies and the men picked up on that, because some people say I have no opportunity. And some people, the door of opportunity opens and they are afraid to walk in. But when you meet somebody like Sean creates opportunity. Right here from this talk show, Sean has come up and he's already creating the opportunities. Since we're talking about fashion, he's already bought 2 URLs have to do with the 10K and fashion. And of course, he's still going to have his 10K t-shirts, but I'm still looking for that suit. So Sean, I like arguing with you. I like you, brother. But let me give my answer, because we're about to shut this one down and take it right back to the clubhouse. Ladies, I hope you've been paying attention as the men talk about it. Like you, Marvin, I was influenced by quite different designers, but I really like the Italian designers. And so it was the Monte, then the Armani, those styles. I like the way that they felt on me. I like the way that they fit. I like the way that they were actually designed, and the makeup of them and all the little things that you see in them, the piping and the lining and those things that you didn't see in some of the other popular brands that you paid quite a bit for, because they were from popular designers, but the way that they were constructed was different. And then as God blessed me, went on, I was blessed to be able to, I created my own design. So a lot of my clothes, 10K, if I was to pull it back, you see in there, design. The tag says designed for Moffitt, by Moffitt. All right. So God bless me to be able to do that. But I was influenced again by the Italian designs. I like the English wools. And so I was able to purchase the English wool material and then have the designs, the tailor make the design based off of the influence on the Italian designers. With that, again, gentlemen, we want to say thank you. We've enjoyed this barbershop conversation. We stayed away from some of the controversial things. Next week, we may talk a little more 10K about what the women think, but we've let them know because oftentimes they don't think men know anything about fashion. And gentlemen, you have dispelled that myth. And we want to say thank you. And we're going to take this right back to the clubhouse. We want to thank Renee Noor and the GW3 community for giving the men an opportunity on Facebook, on YouTube, and the only club on Clubhouse that has men only time every Friday. Look here, put some hearts in the conversation in the chats, some black and white hearts. Go ahead and put those in. Thank you so very much. And we're look forward to seeing you right here on next week. The same GW3 channel, the same GW3 time where the men will take over and it's the men's conversation. Look, in case nobody ever told you today, if they haven't told you, you have an absolutely beautiful smile. If you don't believe me, go look in the mirror, smile at yourself, and I guarantee you, yes, I guarantee you that you're going to smile back at yourself. Take it as God smiling down on you. Now, go smile at the rest of the world. Until next week, God bless you.